Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Warrington from rjmindbody.com. Welcome to Guided Meditation. Today I'm going to bring you a meditation called the Mountain Meditation, and this will help us to gain a clear understanding of what meditation is really all about. Putting ourselves into the shape of a mountain, I suppose that's the best way of describing it. The mountain being the metaphor of our meditation seat. So as we're sitting here on this cushion, or sitting wherever you are in your chair, you become the mountain. And mountains are what we describe in this meditation it's about the mountain being very still, but there's so much happening on the mountain. There's life happening on the mountain, but yet, despite it all, the mountain stays still, and that's exactly what happens in our meditation practice. When you're in your seat, despite all the chatter in your head or the distractions from the outside, you're still sitting here, you're arrived on your cushion. And what you're doing is you're like the mountain, where the mountain will, no matter what, it's not troubled by the storms, it's not troubled by the cold, it's not troubled by the rain, the sun. It's about the people. It continues to just remain in a very composed, quiet stillness. And that's why I love this meditation, is because it really helps me to understand what it is to be in a meditation seat, to be meditating. That it's not as if you're just sitting and nothing's happening, but that there's loads of things happening. That if somebody were to walk by, they would not see that. It's kind of like if you look at a mountain from afar, you see a mountain. Okay, you might see some snow on the peaks, so you might see it might be green from the trees, but you only see a mountain. You say, "I see a mountain," but there's so much happening as you get closer to the mountain. When you get onto the mountain, you start to see, my God, there's lots of things happening. There's lots of activity, there's life, there's color, there's noise. And this is exactly what happens to us when we're meditating. So when you're going through any kind of troubled times, or positive times, but especially difficult times, challenging times, you can always come back to this sense of being a mountain. Can be still, and you arrive back on that cushion, or you arrive on whatever you use as your place to meditate. It's like I find that with my yoga as well. I talk to my students about arriving at the mat. Okay, let's meet on the mat, and the mat is only a metaphor for, let me come back into myself again. Let me reconnect, and then I can go back out into the world. It's not as much while I'm just sitting on this mat or sitting on this cushion. I'm coming back into myself. And then you go back out again. You do what you need to do in life. But then you have something to always go back to when you need more to be stable, when you need some stabilizing, or you need to feel more balanced. This is such an important thing. Some people it's their religion, it's their church or their synagogue or temple, and that's there. As soon as they walk in those doors, I've arrived, I'm home. And so it's whatever works for you. So my home is my mat and my cushion. So I have the mat and the cushion. But everybody's home is different. So you might find that it's not the mat and the cushion. It might be someplace outside that you like to sit. It could be on a park bench. It could be in your bedroom. but it's finding that place that's yours. Okay, so let's arrive on our seat, whatever that seat might be. Remember, you please feel free to sit in a chair if sitting on the ground is not accessible to you. It just hurts the hips too much. Even though it seems glorious to be able to sit on the cushion, it's not for everyone. And sometimes I feel like I want to sit in a chair too. But if you are sitting in a chair, make sure that you have space. Your spine can remain nice and tall as a mountain, nice and strong and tall. You want your spine to be in alignment. That might mean you have to scoot your bottom all the way back so the back of the chair is supporting you. But if your feet aren't touching the ground, then that defeats the purpose. So you might put books underneath your feet. If you have yoga blocks, put your yoga blocks or cushions, whatever you might have, or scoot your bottom towards the middle of the the chair, and feet flat. So here we go. Find that seat. Once you're settled, close your eyes and say to yourself, I've arrived. I've arrived. Okay. Now, not everyone can close their eyes, so look to the ground with a soft gaze, and let's take the first few moments to connect. And how we connect is just observe the breath. Something very simple, nothing too complicated. And then begin to sense the support of the chair or the cushion you're sitting on. Paying attention to the actual sensations of contact. Finding a position of stability and poise. Upper body is balanced over your hips and shoulders. In a comfortable but alert posture. Hands are on your lap or your knees, and arms are hanging by their own weight, like heavy curtains, stable and relaxed. Now begin actually sensing into your body, feeling your feet, your legs, hips, lower and upper body, arms, shoulders, neck, head. And start to bring your awareness to your breath. The actual physical sensations. Feeling each breath as it comes in and it goes out. And just letting the breath be as it is, without trying to change or regulate it in any way. Allowing it to flow easily and naturally, with its own rhythm and pace. And knowing you're breathing perfectly well right now. Nothing for you to do. Now allow the body to be still and sitting with a sense of dignity, a sense of resolve, a sense of being complete, whole in this very moment. with your posture reflecting this sense of wholeness. Now, as you sit here, letting an image form in your mind's eye of the most magnificent or beautiful mountain you know or have seen or can imagine. And letting it gradually come into your greater focus. And even if it doesn't come as a visual image, allowing the sense of this mountain and feeling its overall shape. Its lofty peak or peaks high in the sky. The large base rooted in the bedrock of the Earth's crust. Its steep or gently sloping sides. And notice how massive it is, how solid, how unmoving, how beautiful, whether from afar or up close. Perhaps your mountain has snow blanketing its top and trees, reaching down to the base, or rugged granite sides. There may be streams and waterfalls cascading down the slopes. There may be one peak or a series of peaks, or with meadows and high lakes. Now observing it, noting its qualities. And when you feel ready, seeing if you can bring the mountain into your body. Sitting here so that your body and the mountain in your mind's eye become one. So that as you sit here, you share in the massiveness and the stillness and the majesty of the mountain. You become the mountain. Grounded in the sitting posture, your head becomes the lofty peak. Supported by the rest of the body and affording a panoramic view. Your shoulders and arms, the sides of the mountain. Your bottom and legs, the solid base. Rooted to your cushion or your chair. Experiencing in your body a sense of uplift from deep within your pelvis and spine. And with each breath, as you continue sitting, becoming a little more a breathing mountain, alive and vital, yet unwavering in your inner stillness. Completely what you are, beyond words and thought, a centered, grounded, unmoving presence. And as you sit here, becoming aware of the fact that as the sun travels across the sky, the light and shadows and colors are changing virtually moment by moment in the mountain stillness. And the surface teems with life and activity. Streams, melting snow, waterfalls, plants, and wildlife. As the mountain sits, seeing and feeling how night follows day and day follows night. The bright warming sun followed by the cool night sky studded with stars, and the gradual dawning of a new day. Through it all, the mountain just sits, experiencing change in each moment, constantly changing, yet always just being itself. It remains still as the seasons flow into one another, and as the weather changes moment by moment, day by day, calmness abiding all change. In the summer, there is no snow on the mountain, except perhaps for the very peaks or in crags shielded from direct sunlight. In the autumn, the mountain may wear a coat of brilliant fire colors. In the winter, a blanket of snow and ice. In any season, it may find itself at times enshrouded in clouds or fog, or pelted by freezing rain. People may come to see the mountain and comment on how beautiful it is, or how it's not a good day to see the mountain, that it's too cloudy or rainy or foggy or dark. None of this matters to the mountain, which remains at all times its essential self. Clouds may come and clouds may go. Tourists may like it or not. The mountain's magnificence and beauty are not changed one bit by whether people see it or not, seen or unseen, in sun or clouds, broiling or frigid, day or night. It just sits being itself. And at times visited by violent storms, buffeted by snow and rain and winds of unthinkable magnitude. Through it all, the mountain sits. And then spring comes, trees leaf out, flowers bloom in the high meadows and slopes. Birds sing in the trees once again. Streams overflow with the waters of melting snow. Through it all, the mountain continues to sit, unmoved by the weather, by what happens on its surface, by the world of appearances, remaining its essential self. Through the seasons, the changing weather, the activity ebbing and flowing on its surface. In the same way, as we sit in meditation, we can learn to experience the mountain. We can embody the same central, unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of everything that changes in our own lives, over seconds, over hours, over years. In our lives and in our meditation practice, we experience constantly the changing nature of mind and body and of the outer world. We have our own periods of light and darkness, activity and inactivity, our moments of color and our moments of drabness. It's true that we experience storms of varying intensity and violence in the outer world, but in our own minds and bodies, buffeted by high winds, by cold and rain, we endure periods of darkness and pain, as well as moments of joy and uplift. And even our appearance changes constantly, experiencing a weather of its own. By becoming the mountain in our meditation practice, we can link up with its strength and stability and adopt them for our own. We can use its energies to support our energy to encounter each moment with mindfulness and equanimity and clarity. It may help us to see that our thoughts and feelings, our preoccupations, our emotional storms and crises, even the things that happen to us, are very much like the weather on the mountain. We tend to take it all personally, but its strongest characteristic is impersonal. The weather of our own lives is not ignored or denied. It is to be encountered, honored, felt, known for what it is, and held in awareness. And in holding it this way, we come to know a deeper silence and stillness and wisdom. Mountains have this to teach us, and much more, if we can let it in. So if you find you resonate in some way with the strength and stability of the mountain in your sitting, it may be helpful to use it from time to time in your meditation practice, to remind you of what it means to sit mindfully, with resolve and with wakefulness, in true stillness. So in the time that remains, continuing to sustain the mountain meditation on your own, in silence, moment by moment, until you hear the sound of the bells. So take a few moments. Just keeping your eyes closed, let's gently begin to wake up. Just simply by coming back to the present moment, feeling the cushion or the chair underneath you. Begin to observe the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of your body as you breathe in and out. Notice your hands resting on your lap or your thighs. Bring your attention back into the room, to the sounds in the room. This meditation was scripted by John Kabat-Zinn. And bring your hands in front of your heart and let your eyes gently open, keeping your gaze towards the ground. And take this image of a mountain with you, embody it, knowing that at any point you need to come back to this experience of being still, the sense of stability, groundedness. That despite what is going on around you and inside you, there is this quiet stillness that's strong and resilient. Namaste. See you soon.